There's no study in the world that shows that masks work that well. So you're never going to get the kind of benefit from mandatory year-round masking as you would from making substantial improvements in indoor air quality. But it's a lot easier to implement as well.
What's up? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So at the start of this video, you've seen a top US advisor give his opinion on masks, which we already knew, and we have known this for 3 years. Yet these people, 3 years later, are coming out with this nonsense yet again. Every time these people do a poll, they are told no, yet they keep coming back. Is this not harassment? Is this not terror upon people here in this country? Is that not what this is? Because constantly it keeps coming out. And surely there's people that are sitting out there that have taken 5 of these things that are surely thinking to themselves, well, look, I think the last couple of years were probably an IQ test anyway. But surely they're saying to themselves, if I've taken 5 of these, why would I have to put that back on me again? Now, don't get me wrong, there are still goofballs that are out there still walking around with these things, which, beggars belief really and truly. But then you see Twitter polls like this. Now, if you're listening to this, by the way, and you don't possess Twitter, which I currently don't because I've been removed from the platform due to calling someone a donkey, yet there is heinous stuff posted on this platform before Elon Musk bought it. We'll get back there, don't worry. I'll show you how you can get in touch, respectfully and peacefully, of course, with this news station. And I say news station, I use that term very loosely when it comes to this circus over here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk to you about what I think this is about. I think this is about the government particularly losing control of the people. You've seen what's happened in East Wall. You've seen what's happened in Drimnagh. You're seeing, by the way, as well, Philip Dwyer, someone with 8,000 subscribers here on YouTube, getting over 40,000 views in 24 hours about what's going on in Drimnagh. Yet Newstalk over here that have nearly 60,000 subscribers on YouTube are barely cracking 1,500 views on each video. Not only that, but their likes are very low also, which would suggest to me that they are getting disliked into oblivion, which would also make sense. This is a company, by the way, that likes to regularly turn off comments when the comments don't go in their favour, and then turn them back on once they've done a bit of a clean up there, allegedly, speculatively on that one. So, with that in mind, you're starting to get a very clear view as to what's going on. Why are they using masks? The reason why they are using masks, in my humble opinion, is this: to turn people, the average Joe soap, against each other. Because if you're not concerned about what the government is at, and clearly now people have woken up to the fact that is a uniparty that is in the government, in my opinion, you have a big problem on your hands. So what do? Well, they revert back to what had people at each other beforehand, which is this mask nonsense. That's exactly what this is about, in my humble opinion. What you'll also see here is 52.7% said no. 10,546 votes. How many followers are following Newstalk? 297.5 thousand followers. So nearly 300,000 followers here on Newstalk. But only 10,546 voting on this. That doesn't seem to add up, does it? Not only that then, this has only gotten 76.7 thousand views. So that's well under what the followership is of this news station here on Twitter. And again, I use that term very loosely. It also only amassed 82 likes, which is nothing. So now people are starting to look at numbers, they're looking at figures, and they're saying to themselves, hang on here, this doesn't add up whatsoever. Where are they getting those followers from? How come those followers aren't turning up when it comes to votes like this? And what this company will want to do is they will want, and it is what they have done, they'll put this article out on the likes of their website, which says, hey, 53% of our readers said that they agreed with reinstating this. Okay, so that was a separate poll that you did, and you're using that one to your advantage rather than saying, hang on here, 52.7% of people on Twitter said no. You see what I'm saying? So what can you do? Well, what you can do is, before I show you this, if you do not possess Facebook, Twitter, or any sort of social media, you can get in touch with them here. Now, this is a public page that they have themselves that gives you their contact details. So this isn't something that I've gotten from somewhere and that I'm not able to do. This is public knowledge, by the way. And these are their emails, these are their phone records as well too, that you can make a phone call to. Obviously as well too, I wouldn't suggest making a text, because a text costs you 30 cents, no point in that. But sending an email is definitely going to let these people know where you stand. The other thing is this: they have a physical address, which is going to be what people are going to do next. People are going to start protesting outside of their establishment. Is that the right thing to do? In my opinion, yes it is, because people have a right to protest, and they have a right to protest what is, in my opinion, harassment and terror being put upon the people. This is despicable that this is being carried out 3 years later. It's absolutely outrageous. It's done for a specific reason, to put people against each other, rather than people ask the question, hang on here, hospitals are saying put masks on, how come the hospitals are overrun? Well, did they extend any of the hospitals for the last 3 years? No, they didn't. So that's fiscal irresponsibility, both from the hospital and the government. They're to blame, not the people. You also then have the managing editor that's down here, Patricia Monaghan. That's her email that's down below. And as I always say as well, you know, I looking at you, I looking for you. And all of these women, allegedly, speculatively, never are 10 out of 10s. They're never an Eva Mendes or a Jessica Alba or a Beyonce Knowles or any of these type of 10 out of 10s. You know what I mean? It's always that sort of woman. Anyway, that aside, look at what we have over here. This is a compilation that people have been making themselves, and it's great to see people talking amongst themselves, because now people are starting to look at what's been going on for the last number of years and calling it and bringing it together. There was an article and indeed a video that was done with Brendan Gleeson in it, talking about hospitals and the problems with them since 2007. Like, that's how long this is going on. There's people in government there, like Micheál Martin there. Is he in government since 1989? And what have they got to show for it? Simon Harris, by the way, here, this is a fella that didn't finish third level education, dropped out, was overseeing third level education, was then Minister for Health, thought that there was 18 of these things before the 19th one. Unbelievable stuff, isn't it? And now is overseeing the justice system. You've got Stephen Donnelly. The less said about him, the better. That is a man that has not got a clue and has absolutely and unapologetically put it out there that they weren't able to keep this charade up because of the lack of compliance from people. If you do not comply with this nonsense, they have nowhere to go with it. So lack of compliance is very, very important, and telling them what you think is very important, because they will think twice. These people will blink. You've got this here from 2016, 525 patients waiting for hospital bed, INMO. That's the same gang that are asking you to put the mask back on. Absolute joke shop. That's 2016. 2017, Health Minister Simon Harris admits Irish hospital crisis unacceptable as 578 people on trolleys. Always seems to be in and around the same number as well, doesn't it? That's kind of funny. And what did the Minister for Health do at the time about that? Nothing. 2018, 102 passings as flu cases reach record levels. Of course, as you know, for the last couple of years, the flu was a conspiracy theory. Anybody that you asked that were really into masks and all these things for the last couple of years were like, it's not the flu, what are you talking about there? Now the flu has made a dramatic comeback, as if it's Rod Stewart or the Beatles reforming, you know what I mean? Unbelievable stuff, and people be like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. You're like, sure, that's not a conspiracy, everybody knows. Anyway, Irish hospitals at breaking point after unexpected early arrival of flu season 2019, and again under the watch of Simon Harris. So there you have it. They have still got Stephen Donnelly in as Health Minister, which tells you everything you need to know, that they are going to try this stuff again and again and again. Reading the tea leaves as to what's happening, the Americans are at it too, the UK are at it too, and everybody knows who's running those two countries and what they're about. They all know that they're with the Forum, the same as this country. The fella that's leading the country now, and this is the funny thing about the whole thing, only a couple of weeks ago was he whinging about his private life being made public, and yet a couple of weeks later they're like, oh, we were thinking about putting the mask back on people again. I don't think you'd be out schmoozing some young flit in a bar then, will you? Be very strange. But anyway, you've done that at the beginning of this whole thing by hanging around the park and then moving and doing weird things. That should have been the end of it from the beginning, when people were like, hang, this fella's not taking this seriously whatsoever, and then was sitting over then in a festival not too long ago after that. And that's even before you mentioned that he was under a criminal investigation here in Ireland. Mad stuff. But going back ultimately to this poll, Newstalk, in my opinion, are an absolute disgrace. And the people that are peddling this nonsense should take a long, hard look in the mirror at themselves, because I do not know how these people get up and look at themselves each and every day with the nonsense that you see them putting out. I seen one there recently, a woman that was very unhealthy looking, in my opinion, very much so has to be looking at her BMI in the future, and is talking about bus windows being closed and her sitting upstairs. Yeah, it's a cold morning, that's why the bus window is closed. But see, what happens with these people is they don't have anybody on with an opposing view. They have people like Luke O'Neill coming onto the station who has been regularly wrong about what he's been saying. Yeah, he's being brought back on again and again and again. At the same time, don't be worrying about any of the suddenlies that are going on, heart issues, aggressive forms of cancer or anything like that. They totally want you to be concerned about the sniffles though. So, in my opinion, I think what they are going to do is they're crossing people. They have crossed people beforehand, and they're going to cross them again. And all I'm saying is cause and effect is very much so an important thing to look at. And you're deciding to do something now that the public have already told you, listen, that was nonsense. And if you try to do it again, it's not going to be good. It is very important, and this is how I will finish this one out, because a lot of people complain but they don't give solutions. It is very important that someone with money, very serious money, that's a patriot and that sees through all of this stuff here in Ireland, sets up a media organisation to tackle this. Because at the very least, and I mean, I know what's going on with America, at the very least they have one station that opposes the nonsense on the other. Here in Ireland, there's a couple that are around, but not big enough yet. You need someone with megabucks in there to change the course of direction that we're going. You also then need people around the country to be running for local positions. It is very important. And you also then have to have people mocking and ridiculing this nonsense. And I've seen it publicly myself, where people are walking along with masks and people pointing at them and laughing and questioning and haranguing them on it. Now, what's my personal opinion on that? Well, I keep that to myself. But you're starting to see a real change in people, and this change, in my opinion, is good. There has been apathy over the last number of decades, and now people, ever more so than ever, are looking at what's happening and they're saying to themselves, this isn't the future that I want for my children or my grandchildren. It's great to see. It's great to see the energy. Keep the energy up, and you know exactly what this company are all about. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe, drop a comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.